welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jenna, and like I say in every video, this is my collection of video diaries or journals, whatever you want to call them, of documenting this pregnancy. So this is my first pregnancy, so I'm making these so I can kind of look back and compare and just document this part of my life. So this is going to be my 25-week update. So I'm 25 weeks, clearly. If you're watching this video because you're also pregnant, I'd love to hear in the comments how far along you are, any symptoms you're experiencing, if we're experiencing any of the same ones. I would just like to hear from you. Also, if you want to follow along on the remaining 15 weeks of this pregnancy and meet the baby with us, then go ahead and subscribe and follow me on Instagram. My Instagram will be linked in the description, and it's also just my name, Jenna Wickland. So find me on there and send me a message. I'd love to chat with you more personally on there. But yeah, anyway, let's get into the update. So I've just measured my belly at the roundest part, not like how they do it at the doctor, but just at the roundest part to see my belly growing. Believe it or not, I actually grew an inch this past month. So last video I said I was stuck at like 36.5 for quite a few weeks. Now I'm at 37.5, almost at 38. So we are slowly but surely growing, and we're gonna get pretty round pretty quick here because we only have 15 weeks left, which is kind of mind-blowing, but it's really exciting. So I know in my last video I talked about my weight, and I think I talked about it wrong because I was looking at my parents' scale because we don't have a scale at home, and their scale weighs heavy. So I actually didn't gain however much I said in my last video. I got an accurate reading at the doctor's, and since the beginning of my pregnancy I've gained 10 pounds. So my app says the baby is about the size of a head of cauliflower, which to be honest I'm not really sure what that is. I've seen cauliflower like cut up, but I don't know how big a head of it would be. But the like statistic measurement, like average of the baby at 25 weeks is about 13 inches, I think. I think that's what the app says, so a little over a foot, which is really crazy to me. Like, I feel like that's pretty long, and we still have 15 weeks to go, so. So now on to some symptoms. These are newer symptoms, and there's nothing like crazy, just things I've been noticing as I'm growing and we're getting closer. Recently, leg cramps, not really cramps, but like, you know when you're growing like in middle school and you get growing pains in your legs? They just like feel so tender and like your bones hurt really bad. That has been happening to one of my legs, and I was afraid of like a blood clot or something. But I think what's happening is she's sitting on my left really far over, and I think she's maybe pressing on my sciatic nerve. So when I lay on my left side, she probably puts more weight on it. This is just my theory, but I'm assuming she puts more weight on my sciatic nerve on that side because it is my left leg that hurts. And then when I flip to my right and elevate my leg, it goes away. So I think it's just sciatic nerve pain, and I'll definitely talk to my doctor about it, but I think that's what it is. Another symptom I've been having is still my IBS cramping, but this time I'm not sure if it is IBS. I did talk to my doctor, and she says that it probably is because just some of the things that come along with the pain. But it's very strange. It almost acts like a contraction, and it's kind of making me worried that I won't know what the early labor contractions feel like because it goes around my whole belly, like the perimeter of my whole belly, top and bottom, and it just like tightens, and it kind of like takes my breath away for a second. And then if I stand or like sit, it gets better. So if I like change position, it normally gets better. And the reason that I'm wondering if it's not IBS anymore is because it's like happening at the most random times, like when I'm not eating anything that would cause it. So if you have IBS and you've had a baby before, let me know like how you knew the difference between cramps or like contractions, because I'm getting a little nervous that when it is time to go into labor and into the hospital that I won't know until they're like really strong. And I'd rather know before they're like really strong. And then my last symptom is my emotions have officially skyrocketed. So I didn't think I could really get more emotional. I'm a very emotional person in general. And before I found out I was pregnant, I was crying all the time, which like makes sense now that I found out I was pregnant. But this past month has just been like I'm living on a roller coaster, man. Like, I feel like everything just hits me so incredibly hard. Granted, there are some things going on like in my personal life that have kind of just been like all hitting me at once, and I don't know if I just don't know how to process them at the moment, because like we're getting so close to baby, and just like a lot of other things happening in my life right now just feels like it's all piling and piling and piling. So every little thing that happens, I just like lose control of all my sanity and stuff. Like something super tiny could happen and I just like break down, like I cannot handle it, and then I just have to cry and cry and cry for like an hour, and then I'm fine. But it just is like a cycle. It's like I'm really happy, and then all of a sudden something happens, something small that shouldn't make me this emotional happens, and I just like cannot hold my emotion in anymore, and it's been very kind of frustrating. Like I don't really know how to process things anymore, but I'm hoping that that kind of slows down, and maybe I'm just like, maybe it's a combination of the pregnancy hormones and circumstances in my life, but I'm hoping they slow down, because I don't know how much I can take of feeling this much emotion anymore, because it's just like crying all the time is not fun, you know what I mean? And I feel like a wimp when I'm constantly crying and there's nothing to cry about, you know? Not a symptom, but something kind of funny is I tried on my pre-pregnancy pants. I had started wearing maternity pants like 9 weeks pregnant, even though I didn't need to. I just did because I didn't like how like they were starting to get a little bit tight, and my belly was like really sensitive, so like even jeans in general, like even maternity pants kind of like annoyed me. Like I could just feel my uterus, like the cramps. It was just uncomfortable. So I started wearing maternity jeans really early because I got some from my sister, and they're more comfortable. Like I tell you, I feel like even after I have a baby, I'm not gonna go back to regular jeans. But anyway, I tried on my jeans just for fun because I wanted to see if I could still button them like I could like up until a few weeks ago, and there was no way those things were even close to buttoning. And I was like, oh, I'm actually growing. Like it actually made me feel happy, because now I know that my belly is growing and it's not just all in my head. But that was kind of fun. So that's all I want to talk about for my symptoms. There's not really much else in there. Like I'm feeling really good, you guys. I'm feeling like very energized. I'm really pretty comfortable. Oh, I forgot. Heartburn has started to come. It's not terrible, but I do notice if I eat something acidic before bed, I'll wake up feeling sick in the morning, or like my chest will start hurting at night. And there has been a few times after a meal that I'll like regurgitate acid. I don't know if that makes sense. It's not like throwing up, but acid will like come up my throat, which is not fun, but it's definitely manageable. Like I'm not complaining about that. That's just another symptom I forgot to mention. But that is all the symptoms I had to talk about this week. My only craving this week has been cookie dough, which I have this super good recipe for eggless cookie dough, and you bake the flour before so that you can't get like, there's no chance of salmonella, you know, or food poisoning. So I've been making that like once a week, and I down that stuff. Like my husband has been making fun of me because I just eat so much cookie dough, but it is so good. So I'm not complaining about that being my craving, and I just need to like control myself, like have self-discipline when it comes to it. I had my 24-week appointment and also our last ultrasound. So in my previous video, I said that I had to go back for an ultrasound because baby was being stubborn and laying on her spine so they couldn't see it. But we went back, and finally, third time's the charm. We got everything they needed to get. So we have no more ultrasounds unless something is like unexpected, which is like crazy because the next time we see her, she'll be like herself, like we'll be holding her. It's, oh, I'm so excited. Anyways, that is it for this update. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and maybe I'll see you back next time.